Hello, I'm Trevor, your district rep for next year's season tickets, calling to re-up.
And I'm Zack, your chief officer of misery and pain.
And this is the Misery Sports Company, the official podcast home for fans of terrible teams. If you've ever started looking at mock drafts 3 weeks into the season, then you belong at MSC.
That hits home. Each week we unfortunately take a look at our teams, namely the Browns and the Titans, and stick to our mission statement here at Misery Sports Co. Survive another bad week of sports. Laugh if you can.
That's right. In last week's meeting, Zack took a look at the Washington Wizards and explored the history of their heartbreak.
In today's meeting, we'll cover our weekly earnings report, check in with the moral victories, and then we're going to step into the break room for the first time this year for some honest fan talk, and then we will wrap up with our pep talk.
But before we dive in, let's pause to recognize the only people who believe in us more than we believe in next year, our sponsors.
Yes, so this segment will be sponsored by the Browns quarterback carousels. Spin the wheel, pick a name, and hope for the best with more rotations than a carnival ride and just as much nausea. This is a high-powered sponsorship, Trevor. Never ending.
That thing is powered by rocket fuel. Thank you, Browns QB carousel.
Johnny Manziel's cocaine habit.
Just mix those two together in that tank. Light it off. There it goes. Well, thank you, Browns quarterback carousel. We appreciate you for sponsoring this podcast and for proudly supporting fans who never get that support from their teams. We really do appreciate you.
That's right. And now it's time for our weekly earnings report, the part of our show where we file the paperwork on our two most underperforming subsidiaries, the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans.
Let's take a look at the spreadsheets, and surprise, surprise, I'm seeing all red. Let's unfortunately start with the Titans. Well, Zack, they finally did it. We are 6 weeks into the season, and they finally gave us the pound of flesh we have been clamoring for. But before I get to that, I do have a game to recap. So
Okay,
sometimes a
fair enough.
performance is so spectacularly bad that it alters the course of a franchise. And Sunday was one of those days with the Titans' 20-10 loss against the Las Vegas Raiders. So we are now 1-5. The Raiders improved to 2-4, so that really turned their season around. But why
Okay,
was this game
Gold
so bad?
stars.
We only lost by 10 points. Is that really bad? Well, Zack, one time you asked me about a Joe Flacco game where he had 36 pass attempts, I think. He had 36 in that game. Well, Cam Ward had 38 attempts. So where are you hoping that he landed?
I'm hoping for, I mean, even in a bad game, you got to be pushing 300, 350, right?
Yeah,
You're balling
sure.
out.
For sure. Cut that in half and subtract some. He had 160 yards passing on 38 attempts. The weird news is that's only 2 more yards than the Raiders had. So, we outpassed them by 2 yards. In fact, they only outgained us by 1 yard in total yards, and we still lost by 10 because I saw this on X, and I should have clipped it for Tweet of the Week, but I didn't. There has never been a team that is so bad at screen passes and yet convinces themselves that they're so good at them than the Tennessee Titans. I watched screen after screen, bubble screen, tunnel screen, bubble screen, just constant screens. And they got blown up every single time. And I get you have to set things up. So we should have patience while you set stuff up. But at some point after the 7th screen for -2 yards, you have to say, this isn't working. We should try something else. And they didn't. They just kept throwing it.
Gotta think outside of the Xbox.
Oh my gosh.
That stuff, I almost cursed. That stuff doesn't work in Madden. That stuff doesn't work in Madden. Don't do it in real life.
It doesn't. And we, like, Titans fans are still reeling and just traumatized from screen passes, because I'll take you back to when we were the first seed, which seems like a lifetime ago, and got a first round bye, and we're playing the Bengals. I'll recap that game sometime, because there's a lot there. But we drove down the field with former Browns great Deontay Foreman. He ran the football all the way down the field, and like, we were ready to go. We were on like the 10. We were going to score. It's great. And Tannehill just screen pass, and a defender, all he had to do was put his hands up, popped the ball up, caught it, turnover. So like, we're traumatized from screen passes, and I've never watched a team where they worked. So like, they're bad. They're just bad. So anyways, lots of screen passes. Our offensive line was booty. Our tackles are terrible. Cam Ward got sacked several times. He had some really bad fumbles. We got reverse tuck ruled. So finally the NFL was like, it's time for a make good with the Raiders. It's several years later, but it's time. And Cam Ward had a pass where his arm was moving forward and he kind of pinched the ball out. Or I'm sorry, that's not the case. Sorry. The Raiders had that where it like pinched the ball out is what they said. Mm-hmm. They let it play out initially, and we ran it back for a touchdown. But all Titans fans knew in our heart they're going to overturn that, because we never get a call like that. And then one day I will put together a history of turnover calls that don't go our way. They overturned it. They said that it was an incomplete pass. I think the ball was not controlled when the hand was going forward. Those are always tough, though. Like, are you kind of pushing it forward, you know? But the call on the field was a Titans touchdown, and they overturned it. So what are you going to do? It was just bad. It was terrible. It was really bad and demoralizing, and all the random good stuff that happened, the good vibes left after the Cardinals game. So
somewhere Jeff Fisher is sitting in Titans Stadium smoking a stogie saying, could have given you another 9-7 season, baby.
Yeah, could have. Was 9-7 really that bad? You idiots. I could have won a 10th game now. With 17 games, I could be 10-7. Freaking morons. So they fired Brian Callahan, who is statistically the worst coach in Titans history and one of the worst coaches of all time. Stay tuned for that. Okay. His dad left. His bro that was like an assistant coach, he got walked to the door. Out? Yeah, he left.
Bill Callahan.
He done. Yeah. He said, I watched my son have one of the most publicly embarrassing coaching careers, so I'm just going to see myself out if that's okay. And we were like, sure, Bill. Thanks for your service. He's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, he left. I don't know how you could stay on the beat. I did see a tweet.
Super awkward.
I know, yeah. It would have been really uncomfortable. There was a tweet. Somebody said, like, give us what we want, Titans, and make Bill Callahan the interim head coach. Which would have been great. But anyways, we lost. We have an interim head coach, Mike McCoy, who already sounds like more of a head coach in his 3 days of coaching than Brian Callahan ever did. And so we will see. So theories aplenty about what's next for the Titans, but it was a super demoralizing game followed by a lot of craziness, and you know, they draw you back in with a coaching search. Maybe the next guy's the guy. That's what we're all about here at MSC. Maybe the next one, you know, maybe this will be it. So I'm back in.
It's on brand, baby. It's on brand.
Yeah. So Zach, how was the week for the Browns following up that performance from Dylan Gabriel?
It was brutal. So the Cleveland Browns played at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. Tough opponent, AFC North. You know, it's going to be a tough game. So I think Kevin Stefanski, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, knew that Cam Ward was going to throw 38 times, and he said, How do I do better than that? I'm going to call 52 pass plays.
I'm sorry,
for
what?
Dylan Gabriel.
That was 5-2?
5-2 in his second game ever.
Oh my gosh.
So, of course, he got sacked. I think it was 6 times. Absolutely brutal. It's just one of those games where the defense continues to keep them in the game. It's something like 9-3 at this point, and we're going to force a punt, and we run into the kicker. And from then on, it was just Steelers marched down the field with that goof up, scored a touchdown, and the rest is history. I don't even want to focus on the game anymore. There was nothing to pull out of it. I think that Kevin Stefanski is going to get Dylan Gabriel killed.
Sure.
We're on our 5th tackle at this point. I know that I said bad things about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was never going to do anything for us.
That's true.
This is not good. This is not good right now. I want to give you a quick update, right? So we're going to do a little report card for our teams. So
Ooh, I like that.
Within the NFL, looking at the team rankings, we, the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans, are the bottom 2 in scoring offense.
Yeah.
Just barely. The Cleveland Browns are dead last at 13.7 points per game.
We have to be like 13.8.
13.8. That's
Yeah,
right.
see, I know, I knew it. I knew we were there's no way we're averaging 2 touchdowns a game. There's no way.
The nearest team is at 17.
Good
so we are
grief.
in the cellar. We are
Good
just.
grief.
That's the Bengals who who have freaking Joe Flacco.
Oh my god.
They don't have Burrow anymore. All right, I'm gonna just kind of cool myself down a little bit, but we are just bad. Another stat I thought was interesting. I looked at the drops leaders within the NFL. Number 1, Jerry Jeudy of the Cleveland Browns with 8 drops. 8. Your man, Calvin Ridley, is tied for 4th with 4 drops. So we have players for both of our teams, top 5. We can't catch a ball.
No.
We can't score.
No.
I don't know where to go. The weird thing is, so there was a lot of, fire, smoke, whatever with Callahan. There's really no smoke right now with Stefanski. And it just feels like they've built the defense and now they're going to go all in on the offense next year. I haven't seen any of the beat reporters say, Stefanski's, he's heating up. He's going to get fired. It's just more of the same. Nobody could do anything with this roster. And I'll get to it in our tweets of the week, but even opposing coaches are now saying things that you would never hear them say of another team. So
Yeah.
I've been here. I was born in this misery. I'm not going to say I'm used to it because it's not even competitive at this point, which I know
Right.
Titans are in the same boat.
Yep,
and
I
it's
know
super
that.
frustrating. So another wonderful Browns loss. So that's your weekly earnings report. Proof that no matter how bad things get, Hope still refuses to enter the transfer portal.
Speaking of portals, let's warp over to another one of our proud sponsors. Hey, did you just get fired from that huge once-in-a-lifetime job that you'll never get back to again? Well, nothing hits back at your employer like cutting a timely diss track from one of the rappers going right now. That's right. We're talking about Will Smith and his new company, Will Smith's Diss Tracks. If he can write a song to convince us he's straight with lyrics like, "Not a lot of women who aren't pretty to me. I mean, she pretty to me. I like pretty girls. I love pretty girls." Then he can slam your former employer to keep your name out their damn mouth. Hey, Emily Dickinson, get ready to piss your pantsuit at the beauty and wonder of Will Smith's diss tracks.
Don't be dissing my boy. Getting jiggy with it.
Have you
was
listened to
all-
the new stuff?
I saw an AI video, like he had a music video, and it was
Yeah,
just fake.
and it's not. It might as well. AI can put together better stuff. Please go listen to Pretty Girls. It's
Okay.
some of the worst stuff out there, but he can write a good diss track, I'm sure. I'm
I'll put it in my
sure.
Spotify rotation and make sure to subscribe to our channel on Spotify.
Nice plug. I like that.
Now that our investors are satisfied, it's time to hand out some equally real awards as we step into the office of moral victories.
That's right. Here at MSC, underperformance isn't a bug, it's a feature. But per corporate policy, we're still required to hand out some hardware. Our first employee of the week goes to Amy Adams Strunk for finally coming to her senses and canning our coach, Brian Callahan. Zach, we're no stranger to discussion boards and posts about, oh, I'm connected to this person, I've heard this, I have this source. So according to some threads that I got down, which I really needed you to pull me out of because I was deep in them and it was unhealthy. Somebody who has been reliable in the past and claims to be connected to sources on the team says that Amy Adams Strunk was finally listening to players and coaches because players actively hated Callahan. An exact quote from a running back on our team: he thinks he knows football because he played Madden while his dad coached. I'm not sure if it was a closed or open session, but we had refs at training camp. The DB team overheard him have a 15-minute discussion with the ref while the ref was explaining rules as if he was a child learning how addition works in math class. Amy, the owner of the team, stormed out yesterday from her watch and said, I'm not losing to Mike Vrabel with that coach. Give me anyone else. So wow. I don't know if that's true, but it's fun to think about. And for just having the gall to fire a coach who needed to get fired, congratulations, Amy Adams Strunk. You are my employee of the week. And in the spirit of forced positivity, we always give out one more. Zach, who else managed to do the absolute bare minimum this week?
So I am actually going to go outside again, right? So Browns can't really highlight anything at this point. I am going to highlight a team that did have some success last year, but overall has been real bad before this. And my employee of the week is Curt Cignetti. So the
pick.
Indiana Hoosiers head coach. Out of 24 total seasons before him since 2000, Trevor, how many times do you think they had a winning season since 2000?
7?
7? Good guess. They had 3.
Oh, no.
Their record in that time was 103 and 181. So they had a 36% win percentage. He went 11-2 last year. He's 6-0 this year. They just went to Oregon and beat them. They're number 3 in the country. I also dug into it. 247 Sports does all the recruiting, and they have these composite rankings where they put everything together from all the various sites. The team ranking for Indiana is number 72.
Holy cow. So they are way overperforming.
Yes. And to tie this all together, there is a connection. Do you know who is an Indiana Hoosier graduate and booster?
Oh, no. I do not know.
You don't? It's Mr. Mark Cuban.
Oh, of course. Of course. I should have known. He was such a big fan of Yogi Ferrell that he brought him on our team and he played for us for a while. Of course.
So you've
Mark
got this
Cuban.
machine now with Curt Cignetti that, like, he is an interesting interview. He is completely brash. He'll just say, Google me. But congrats to him. He's really turned around that program. So he's my employee of the week. And while those plaques will probably end up in a clearance bin somewhere, it's time to shift from recognition to reflection. Let's head down to the mailroom for our standout posts of the week. Trevor, what's landed in your inbox?
I have 2 entries from this week. They are really just sad more than anything. One of our beat writers, Zack Lyons, posted about the run pass option plays that the coaching staff keeps selling us on, that they're going to call for Cam Ward because that's where he looks really comfortable. Let's get the pocket moving a little bit. Let's get him rolling out. And they swear to us, they swear that they're going to do more hurry up and RPOs. So here's a list of RPO plays by week. We did 4, 4, 12. That was cool. Went back down to 3. And then we had the staff saying, we're going to call more. We're going to call more. In week 5, they called 1. And week 6, they had 0. So they are just keeping him in the pocket for either a second to call a screen pass or waiting for a play to develop with receivers who cannot get separation and an offensive line who can't block. And I'll tell you what, that's a recipe for disaster. But my entry for tweet of the week comes from the folks over at Set the Edge, who said the Brian Callahan era will be quickly forgotten, but I will always remember him saying, if we keep playing like that, everything is going to be just fine. He said that after the Cardinals win, which you'll remember we needed 5 different things to happen. So he said that, Set the Edge says, after a win to a team that only won because their opponents started slipping on banana peels and had pianos and anvils fall on them mid-game. So thank you, Set the Edge. That's exactly right. It's absolute clown show from our former coach. A true masterpiece of online despair. How about you, Zach? What do you got?
All right, I have 2 submissions this week. This one is from @Tamar25. He writes, I fucking hate the Miami Dolphins. I hate Tua. I hate Chris Greer. I hate Ross. I hate TD. I hate that one bitch with the blue wig. I hate Mike McDonald. I hate that stadium. I hate the colors. I hate the logo. I hate everything about this horrible fucking franchise. Who's the lady in the blue wig?
Yeah, who has blue hair? I'm over here going,
like a super fan?
Oh, my gosh.
My goodness. Super
Respect.
sorry to Coach Timar. I have one more. This is from Ari Mirov. He does a lot of sports updates, pretty well known in the Twitter sphere. And it's Mike Tomlin's post-game interview after beating us. And he wanted to make a statement about our general manager. So here it is.
You know, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
Never have I ever heard an opposing coach call out a GM. We can agree or disagree on Joe Flacco, right? But like to have Mike Tomlin, who is well respected, calling you out in a press conference is absolutely wild. Now, I do give him credit. This is the point that just really grinds my gears. We're in the preseason, right? The people that were taking the majority of the snaps, Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, aren't on our roster 6 games into the season. So you just wasted a whole preseason and then gave Joe Flacco to the Bengals, who are begging for a quarterback. So you're just guaranteeing another, tough game at the end of the season when we have to go to Cincinnati. I mean, it's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Poetic, hopeless, and exactly the kind of content that keeps this company afloat. So congrats to this week's honorees. Your awards are definitely in the mail, right next to our team's playoff chances.
Don't like those. And helping cover the postage on those awards is our next proud sponsor.
This segment will be brought to you by the Baltimore Ravens Turnover Tax Agency, collecting your interceptions, fumbles, and gift wraps for the opponent all in one place. Because when Cooper Rush is passing out the ball, we'll be here to audit your misery.
Cooper Rush, the answer to the question, what if Lamar Jackson couldn't run? Cooper Rush. Thank you to their turnover tax.
Fair enough. All right. Meeting agenda says it's time to step into the break room. No slides, no stats, just 2 fans trying to process why we still care. This is a new segment where we take a breather from the official reports and talk like the rest of the office, fans just trying to keep the faith.
That's right, Zach. So today, let's chat about what's been going on with our teams and around sports, maybe with some other teams that we watch or enjoy, what it's like to keep showing up for them, and how we somehow convince ourselves it'll get better.
I wanted to start this segment out with a little bit of hope. Okay, so I was looking around the league, and at Misery Sports Co., we accept all teams, and we have many teams and fan bases that are welcome here and are
Absolutely.
suffering. So I wanted to just show that there can be a light at the end of the tunnel. The three actually that I am going to focus on: the Jaguars, the Patriots, both at 4-2, and the Bears. The freaking Bears, are 3-2 right now. I mean, Trevor, last year, Caleb Williams was getting the Cam Ward experience. It was he was getting rocked. Offensive line was horrible. There just wasn't any cohesiveness. And so I want to give you a little bit of hope, right? There is the potential that Cam Ward can still be developed, can still be taken care of. And I just need something to lift my spirit right now because I'm in a dark place with the Browns.
Yeah, and I may be wrong on this, but there were times where we had buried Drake May, right? I mean, he's not working out, and now he looks great and can play serviceable quarterback for a 4-2 team on a gritty team, man. Who's building that grit, Trevor?
Oh my
gosh.
He was literally with the Browns as well last year. Mike
Was
Vrabel.
he really?
Yeah. Stefanski brought him in for the entire year as a special advisor, and we somehow let him walk without kicking Stefanski out and putting him in. I mean, to me, that's kind of the key takeaway is like, it's more about culture. It's more about toughness, discipline than it is about X's and O's. Like, you can find dudes that can call plays, but I just don't see it with Stefanski either. I don't know. Don't know.
It really is about building a culture and getting buy-in from the players. And like, that is obviously where somebody like Mike Vrabel excels. Like that, he is phenomenal at that. For better or for worse, he will squeeze every ounce of juice out of a player and get them to give their all. A lot of players love it. A lot of the veterans didn't love it when he came in, but he built an incredible culture that was starting to turn around with Mike Munchak, but he really took it to the next level. I think where he has struggled was with a little bit of cronyism. He had some really bad coordinators who were his buddies that he could not let go after repeated terrible performances. Thinking especially to offensive coordinators and special teams coordinators, because he was pretty involved with the defense. So hopefully he's grown in that. I mean, I want him to do well in New England. Between some cronyism and wanting a little too much of control around the roster, like, I'm pretty split. I could see it both ways on why that was a good. Just because Brian Callahan was the absolute worst pick does not mean that we, needed to let Vrabel go. It just it hurts looking back on it and seeing what he's so quickly established. And he has more wins. He has the same number of wins in New England in his first 6 games than Brian Callahan had in 2 seasons or a season and a half, whatever. I mean, it's been really, really, really bad. The coach in Jacksonville is a goober, though. Like, you remember that video of him going, Duval? Like, I'm waiting for that house of cards to come tumbling down, but I don't know. I kind of thought Mike McDaniel, which that poster really didn't like anymore.
No.
Like, he was kind of a goober, too. Like, his culture was questionable, and, looks like that's not sustainable anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I was wondering, why do we keep coming back? like, like how? I guess let me frame it this way: have you ever gotten close to saying, "I can't do it anymore. Let me pick a new team"?
I have never gotten close to picking a new team. I have certainly fast forwarded games and parts of seasons, right? Where you're just like,
sure.
okay, we're 0-12. I don't need to watch this game, right? You know what? This is an existential question. And I think, why do I keep coming back and watching the Browns? There's a piece of it that like, it is nostalgic. It kind of brings you back to like when you were a kid and you first took up your fandom. There's a piece of it that's like, okay, well, with the Browns, like it is close to home. It's Ohio. It's, and it's just like, I have poured so many years into this thing.
Yeah.
I cannot miss whenever the lightning strikes. If it's when I'm 50, 60, whenever, something good will happen. I don't know when. And so it's a combination of all of that and like seeing that there is a path, because I know that there's a path with the Browns. They had a fantastic draft this last year. They had probably 5 starters that are legitimate. So it's like, okay, I saw something there. If we can just keep building on this, then maybe. But it's the same thing I've said every single year, Trevor.
Yeah. I totally get that. It really is the small amount of hope that maybe they can figure this out, and also combined with what you said with I have to be here when they do. Like I can't not miss it, because it would be the season where it's like, okay, let me switch to the Seahawks or wherever I have some connection to this other team, and then that very next season it's like the Titans put it together. It's like crap. So it is that hope that gets you, and I don't know. There's something enjoyable. This is kind of sick. I think I might have something wrong with me, but there is something enjoyable about being a fan of the team that nobody thinks is going to do anything, because when they mess around and make some noise, it feels really good. Like nobody thought,
for sure, yeah.
Nobody thought we could do this, and look at us now. Like that Titans run where we made the playoffs and won some divisions. Like it was just fun because nobody was, giving them a lot of respect, and we were just messing around and making noise, and it was fun. So like there's something enjoyable about having no expectations and then occasionally being able to clear that very, very low bar.
Yep. It's what makes Misery Sports Co. so special.
Yeah, it's a special place, man. Special place.
How about the Mariners? I know that we covered them. You covered them in the deep dive. That was another one. I mean, they're up at least 2-1. I know the third game's going on right now, and they weren't looking great, but they already had a 2-0 lead.
Yeah,
in the ALCS.
Won both of them in Toronto. They're a fun team. It's a fun team to watch. I really, really hope that whoever comes out of the AL wins that World Series. I don't want the Dodgers to win again. I really don't want to see that.
They look like a freaking machine.
Yes, they are a machine, and it looks like they're walking to another one. But I really hope whoever comes out of the AL can win, because I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but I'm a big Cubs fan. Not big anymore. I'm a Cubs fan. Define that how you will.
I'm a fan.
I recently learned our roster after we made the playoffs, so I'm a huge Cubs fan. But I hate the Brewers with a passion, and something about it. Wisconsin sports fans, and we have a couple in our life, they are just grating when their team is doing well. I don't like it, and so anytime like Wisconsin or not the Bucks. The Bucks are pretty great. I like Giannis. He's pretty great. But like anytime they're doing well, they're
passionate. They're passionate, and it
comes
out.
They're
sweating the cheese curds, and they go crazy, man. When
They
they
do
watch
go
their
crazy.
sports, they go crazy.
I will say I have a carve out for the Packers just with eyebrows over there. He could have been our head coach, Matt LaFleur.
Oh,
and now he came through and coached for us, and then went up there. He could have been another Titans coach, but they're okay. So mostly it's whiskey, basketball, football, or the Brewers just drives me insane. So good luck to Seattle. I hope they win it. Speaking of Seattle, if they did win it, I wonder if things would change for their fans. Because my question to you is, when your team wins a championship, which we've had that happen a few times, does it make you feel different or less invested? Do things change after a championship at all?
Yeah, my experience with that was with the Cavaliers, right? So we of course had one of the greatest players in NBA history, but we never could do anything with him. And eventually we got over the hump. We won the championship. It was incredible. It was awesome. But at the same time, like, it went back to the grind because he left. He went to quote unquote greener pastures in LA. And it's like, I don't think it changed anything for me because I want to see them back on top. And it's been a while now. Like, we're coming up on, oh my goodness, like 9 or 10 years since Cleveland won that championship. Like, time goes so quickly with these seasons. And especially when you're part of one of these less sexy franchises, it's harder to build it. Even with Cleveland now, they have a great team, right? But it's still like, how do we get over that next level to win the Eastern Conference, to compete with someone like an OKC? I think if Seattle wins, it changes. It's almost like a relief. It's a release, right, of all of that suffering. But you still have that history, you still have the scars, and we will celebrate with you at Misery Sports Co.
Yes, we will. We will party with you. I hope they do it. Because they honestly deserve it. I mean, it's been a long time coming. Super pumped for them to get this far. Hope they can get over the hump. So I mentioned some teams that when they're doing well, it kind of is a little more grating for me. But I wonder, being fans of two terrible teams, in fact, probably the worst teams in football with those stats you shared earlier in this episode, how does it feel when you read other people talking bad about your team? Like, do you laugh along? Does it affect you at all? Is it in one ear, out the other? How do you handle that?
I am so numb to all of this that someone can, shoot something out in a text message and tell me how terrible they are. It just doesn't. It really doesn't impact me. And in fact, I welcome and embrace it, and I want to try to one up it at that point. Like, oh, well, actually, you forgot about this one stat where.
Yes,
it's so bad. But like, with the Browns, it's like, yeah, they suck. Now, if I go to the playoffs and get killed by the Houston Texans, like we did a couple of years ago, then like, yeah, if someone's like, dude, your team sucks, like that to me is a little bit, it's like, well, wait a second, like we had a decent season, like I need to celebrate this. We're typically awful.
Yeah. It does say something that we're so numb to it. There will be
do you
sometimes.
Feel the same way?
For the most part, yes. There's sometimes where I'm like, I know my team sucks more than you know my team sucks. Like you said, you were, introduced to this darkness. We were born in it and molded by it. Like, I know my team sucks more than you know my team sucks. So sometimes when I read it, and it's probably my fault for being more sensitive, getting triggered, But there are times where I read something online and I'm like, what the, like, why are you coming after us? Like, we know we suck. Like, we don't need some national person or some from another team to be like, oh my gosh, have you seen what the Titans are doing? Like, yeah, bitch, we're living that. That's my everyday. Like, I don't need it from you. So, like, sometimes when I see the bigger talking heads, if they can spare a second to talk about the Titans, or if it's like a long thread about like, oh, let's all look how much the Titans suck, I'm like, I don't need this from you.
And that's why I like Misery Sports Co. like the idea, right? Because we're trying to learn more about these fan bases, but we're not like legitimately, we're not poking fun, we're not mocking. No. We're just trying to like understand and bring more fans in, because there are so many fan bases that feel the same way, that have never reached the mountaintop, haven't even gotten close.
Yep.
And so it's like we want to understand those fan bases, and I think there is a respect, right? You're going to another tribe and you're like understanding what makes them tick. It's kind of cool.
Yes, we're all in this together. We really are. Well, if that didn't qualify as group therapy, I don't know what does. Let's take a quick break to hear from another one of our sponsors. From the makers of Will Smith's diss tracks comes a new family therapy sweeping the nation. It's Let's Air Our Trauma Together. That's right, with Trauma Together, forget intimate conversations with loved ones in which you slowly start to rebuild trust after one of you sleeps with your kids' friends. Now you can talk about it on a podcast in front of everyone. All of your friends will ask you, are you all right? And after the 7th time someone asks you that today, you'll start to wonder, am I? And that's when you'll find out the true wonder of Trauma Together. No take backs. You just gotta... You deal with it because everyone heard you, and now we all know. So just, you did it, and it's over, and we all know. And maybe you shouldn't have, maybe you shouldn't have done that, but you did. So thanks, Trauma Together.
You're gonna get smacked in the face by Will Smith. You're gonna be number 2.
They went on a podcast and they talked about it, and I can't get over it. It was years ago, and I'm not over it.
Oh my gosh. I need you to get Sora so I can put you in a Sora video getting smacked by Will Smith.
Getting smacked. Oh my gosh.
Well, I want to give a big thank you to Will Smith specifically, proving that one person out there actually cares about us, continues to invest in us, and doesn't really care what we say about them.
No, he doesn't. That's the great part about it. He just doesn't care anymore. Before we wrap up today's meeting, let's end on a high note with our pep talks.
At Misery Sports Co., we believe in leaving every meeting with a little hope, even if it's wildly misplaced. I actually, this is interesting because I haven't thought about my pep talk yet, Trevor.
Perfect.
Forgot to disclose that.
Perfect.
But
just see what comes naturally.
Pep talk, yeah, I mean, if I were to give a pep talk right now, it would be to the rookies on the Cleveland Browns roster. So we've got Dylan Gabriel, we've got Quinshawn Judkins, Schlesinger is a great linebacker, Mason Graham's doing stuff on the D line, Fannin as a tight end. Like, they're producing. Hey guys, listen up. We're in for the long haul. No matter what happens this season, just brush it off, prepare yourself, get ready for next season, continue to do the little things. Catch the ball, maybe. I don't know.
The little things.
I don't know if you have to, you don't have to necessarily listen to Kevin Stefanski, but just keep producing, doing whatever you need to do to put the ball in the end zone or to stop the other team. And honestly, they're doing a great job. So keep it up, Browns rookies. And I didn't say this yet, but Shadur, hang in there, buddy. You're going to get your time. It's a long season, brother.
It's coming. Yeah.
And that's my pep talk, Trevor. So what do you got for us this week?
I thought about a couple different pep talks. I thought about pepping up Miss Amy again, just thanking her. But she got Employee of the Week, so I don't feel like she needs a pep talk. She's already overachieving. I'm going to rewind. I have no idea where this person is, but I'm going to give a pep talk to Todd Downing. I don't suppose that name rings any bells. Yeah.
It does not.
Perfect, as it shouldn't. So I want to take you back a few years ago. We were playing a game in Green Bay. Mike Vrabel was our coach. And we beat the brakes off the Packers. We scored 40-something points. Life was good. We were a few games over 500. Like we were maybe, I don't know, 7-2, 7-3, something like that. And then Todd Downing, who was somewhat maligned but got us to score a bunch of points, he went out and got crunk and got arrested for DUI. So after that DUI, things crashed out. His offense got historically bad, and he was fired. And Mike Vrabel eventually stopped being the head coach, and we have not been good since. So we like to say around here, things were good until Todd Downing got crunk in Green Bay. So wherever you are today, Todd Downing, I want you to know that you are important. You matter because you single-handedly changed the course of my favorite NFL team, and not for the better. So I want you to know how important you are, that the choices that you make in life matter, and that they control the happiness potentially of dozens of us Titans fans that are out there. You had a lot of control. So I want to thank you for that. And I want to, whatever high school team you're probably coaching now, or maybe a prep school or something, I want you to know that people care about that. Have a great game out there. And if you ever want to get back into coaching, don't.
Oh,
thank you.
That's a heck of a pep talk. I'm ready to run through a brick wall. I'm just hoping that like at some point we make it big, and then these folks just start listening from the beginning. And Todd Downing's just like, what the hell? Like catching strays in this.
Yeah, you're talking about me in the first 5 episodes.
We're working through a lot of trauma while we explore other fan bases.
There's a lot of trauma.
Well, that'll do it for this week's meeting at Misery Sports Company. We hope you'll become employees here by subscribing to the podcast, following us on X, and checking out our new website, miserysportsco.com. Until next week, I'm Zack.
And I'm Trevor.
See you next time.